Um,
Near AI. What did you ship this week?
It seems as if Cameron's microphone froze. So, James, welcome to the
yes.
space. Why don't you
Hello.
just hit it off and then we'll bring Cameron right back when he's there. It's
Yeah.
all yours. And if you want to present your screen, please
Oh.
go ahead and do so.
Oh, I'm not going to be showing any slides. I'm just going to be giving a quick overview of Unity Wallet and really what our mission is.
Sounds good. It's all yours.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. So I'm James Toledano. I'm COO of Unity Wallet. We're a self-custodial crypto and Web3 wallet. Um, and really our mission is to try to make uh, DeFi accessible to as many people as possible. The user interface is designed to help make everything, pretty easy and intuitive. Um, and I would also say that in terms of swaps and currencies, we kind of have, you know, hundreds. Hundreds of tokens. But what we do a little differently within the swaps is people can select from a whole bunch of partners, including near intent. So users, depending on what they're doing, find a pretty good deal in terms of swaps. And we also have USDT zero bridge in there now. Um, but in terms of features, we feel that our wallet has way more features than many of the other wallets out there. You can run KYT checks, which allow you to determine if someone you're about to trade with has crypto that's been tainted by deep web activity or whatever. So we have blockchain intelligence to help people make better decisions. It's kind of a security layer in a way. We have a whole security center. People can also shop, buy a whole bunch of stuff with their Bitcoin. So yeah, it's really, but Dex trading is probably the biggest part of what we do. Um, and yeah, our mission really is to make navigating and transacting in crypto as easy as possible through our user interface, and also to really get users to think about self-custodial and what it means, because a lot of people, they don't know that their bank account is custodial. They don't know what that is. So part of what we have to do is educate people, because we don't want them, we want them to understand what ownership is and the responsibility of ownership, but also enabling them to be the bank and the customer at the same time. So that's really it. Yeah.
Shot James.
I think it seems as if Cameron's connection is out again,
Yeah.
James. Okay, I can just go on and jam a bit. So maybe can you go in a bit of the details, like how Unity Wallet is like a key differentiators and how you're using how you're working with Near?
Yeah, absolutely. So really in the last release, version 8.7, so we have near staking in, but in the last release we added near intents in its beta. So that's one of the options in terms of exchange partners when you're doing swaps. So that's there, and then also we integrated wallet selector, or into Wallet Connect. So our ecosystem now has access to near dApps as well, which is great. And then obviously there's other stuff we're working on too, but I'm that's coming down the pike. Yeah.
All right, we're just having some connectivity issues. James, I'm just gonna bring you on again. Okay, all right. Super excited. Yeah, do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
How's it been? How's it been integrating near intents? Have you seen any volume been picking up? Yeah.
That's a good question. So I actually do not know. I'm just going to be completely honest. I haven't looked into it. So it's really being handled by the development team, but I should have some insight on that, and it's something I'm going to look into. Yeah.
Interesting. And any call to actions for the audience?
Sorry, what?
Any call to actions for the audience? Anything you want us to do? Should we go test out Unity Wallet? Anything specific you want people to
Oh yeah.
play around
Sorry.
with?
So I think So right now, if you download Unity Wallet and you want to test all the near integrations, then that would be great. And we have, we are in the process of integrating something else now that I don't think I can. I'm not sure I can talk about, but that's really exciting too. So that's it. But yeah, really go and download the app. I think one thing that's important is when you're a wallet app and you're decentralized, as we are, and you're having to use, third-party services, it's really important that we can integrate them into our UI. And so that's kind of a challenge with a self-custodial wallet. But yeah, it's slowly getting things are getting smoother in the space, which is great.
Sounds good. Well, keep up the good work, James, and keep building. Excited to keep following your progress. And thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, Cameron, let's see. Does it work?
You tell me, man. Does it work?
Yeah, it does. It works. I'm going to move to the background again.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for bearing with me, everybody. This is the 18th episode of What Did You Ship This Week? Shout out to Nearweek for pulling through when the internet was being shoddy. My name is Cameron Dennis. We do this every week. It's essentially a decentralized engineering stand-up where people in the ecosystem, different bunch of founders, show off what they've been building. And so shout out to Unity Wallet. Been working with them for the last couple of months to integrate Near, get added to the wallet selector, and now have Near intent supported inside the app. And so really looking forward to building more agents that can trade on behalf of users and making them available through Unity Wallet. Next up, we have Open Gradient. Let's see. Matt, are you here? Matthew. All right, great. Coming to stage. How you doing, Matthew?
Okay, can you guys see me? Hopefully it's working well. But yeah, I'm doing great. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Living the dream, specifically with shoddy internet. So, you've been building Open Gradient for quite a while. We've been, working together for about a year or so. But you've been taking a pretty, specific focus into portable memory, which I think is sort of a prerequisite for AI mass adoption. This is, for those who might not know, actually, Matthew, I kind of want you maybe to explain it, but the reason why I'm so interested is because AI doesn't always have the large enough context window for you to actually teach it what, your preferences and everything in order for it to act better on your behalf. So if you don't mind, just giving a quick lowdown about what Open Gradient has been building, what you've been focused on regarding portable memory, and specifically what you shipped last week, that would be great.
Yeah, exciting. So I guess to give everyone a little bit of context on what Open Gradient is. So we are an AI research lab focusing on applied AI, ML, as well as blockchain computing. Today, we've built infrastructure. It's an L1 network that allows developers to run AI workflows, from things like inference, data preprocessing in a secure and verifiable manner. We have things such as TEEs. We leverage confidential computing, ZKML for verifiable ML inference as well. And after we built this network, we started building our own killer use case, so to speak, which is now that we have this network for verifiable confidential computing, what are the key unlocks we can make in the AI space that is uniquely enabled by our infra? And one of the things we landed on was, as you had alluded to, portable memory. And the idea is actually very straightforward. Today, every time you use an AI app, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's Meta AI using their Llama models, or whether you talk to AI companions on Character AI or AI therapists, your memory is kind of siloed on these individual platforms. ChatGPT has no idea about your conversations with your AI therapist, and Meta AI has no context on your conversations with ChatGPT. So we want to build this kind of this memory base of data and context by collecting all of your digital footprint in one place in a way that is secure and fully confidential, and allow you to port this memory into any app or into any AI agent. So this way, in the future, you can one-click sign in into some AI app, and it will immediately know who you are, your preferences, your history, as well as your kind of like relationships with people around you, and it can more directly service your needs with a personalized response. And like you had said, absolutely limited context windows mean that we have to build a lot of novel infrastructure around, correctly retrieving the best memories for context to generate those personalized responses.
That's super cool. Curious on what you use for like access control management. Like, how are you actually going to, help the users decide what information to provide certain models or certain platforms versus others, and sort of like the key management architecture around that?
Yeah, so there are basically two levels of access control today. Firstly is, you can manually kind of actually go and delete. You can view your memories and manage them. So this is completely manual and in the user's control. They can go sort through them. They can view them by tags. They can delete them. They can edit them. They can also add new memories manually as well. So that's the first level. And if you don't want some memory stored, you can very easily remove that from our system. You have full control of all of your data. And the second one is, beyond that, the infrastructure that we have allows you to basically generate keys that need to be used to sign any kind of sessions in order for the session to leverage your memories or leverage your context in this case. So if you want to grant access to a certain app or an AI for it to get access to your memories, you need to be there to manually approve it, and then for that session it has access to your memories and context.
Got it. And how do you verify privacy? I am absolutely horrified giving OpenAI or any single entity everything that I have online. I think it makes zero sense to do so, and will probably be one of the biggest risks to society if this is scaled. How do you ensure that information stays secure and private?
Yeah, so firstly, it's end-to-end encrypted, and secondly, all the vector embedding generation and the inference happens in trust execution environments, and we submit remote attestations to the Open Gradient Network where they can be validated. So you can actually see the code that's running. You can see that, hey, it's not actually secretly porting this data elsewhere, and that way we get both verifiable and confidential computing kind of guarantees. And I agree that it is very much something that will increasingly become important as data for AI becomes, more and more valuable as AI is able to do more and more now. So I think, yeah, we absolutely want to ensure that users have their data, completely private and secure, unless they explicitly grant access to people or apps.
So I don't think users are very sophisticated most of the time, especially with data permissioning, when they just like say, yes, I allow you to have access to pretty much everything. I think Apple's done probably the best job at trying to give people or apps access to like very select images or, sort of very detailed information. How is the UX intended to look in this scenario? Because when, an app prompts a user saying, hey, can I get access to your photos? A lot of people just say yes without any idea of exactly like what they're giving up or the amount of information that can be harvested inside of your entire photo reel on your phone. Like, how are you managing that part? Because Apple seems to be on the cutting edge here, and it's also some of a unsolved problem.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So firstly, I think it's a great point that you bring up. You can't really expect users to have the kind of time to go in and actually manually view their memories. So something that we actually do is we tag the memories systematically when we generate the vector embeddings, and we actually censor memories that we consider to be more private, or memories that would be considered confidential in many cases. So as an example, things like passwords or private keys or very, very sensitive personal data, including maybe like your ID, or sometimes like AI might get access to this information, and we would like censor all of that and don't store it, because we don't see it being particularly helpful for usage of different AI apps as well.
How do you see it if it's encrypted? Like, how can you tell what is sensitive?
Yeah, so it's being like decrypted within the TEE. That's how like we process that over that data. But of course, like it's within the confines of the trust execution environment. So it comes with like segmented processor and memory to ensure that this can't be accessed by anyone else. And yeah, I think this is like a great systematic way for us to ensure that people get the best trade-off between like management of their memories done systematically, plus of course confidential data privacy.
Yep, that checks, man. I guess we got to move on to the next guest soon. It's actually very relevant to knowledge management and some data privacy. Before we go, is there anything else that you want to flag to the community?
Yeah, go check out memsync.ai. It's currently kind of in a private alpha/beta, but memsync is memsync.ai. If you want to go try it out and try out some of the memory kind of features that we have built, yeah, feel free to do so, and we'd love to hear back from you. Thank you so much, Cameron. And
yeah, of course, man. We'll stay in touch. I want to double click on access key management and like how do you actually kind of programmatically give access to certain apps, but we'll talk about it in DM probably. Thank you for joining, Matthew. Next up, we have Matt Hamilton from Asimov Protocol. Matt, you are not a stranger to the show, but for those who may not know who you are, please give everyone just a quick overview of what Asimov is, who you are, and what you guys shipped this week.
Sure. We also have Arto on as well. If you want to bring Arto up as well. So I'm going to do the usual thing. If I'll do the overview and that, and then I'll pass over to Arto to talk about kind of explicitly what we shipped this week. So let me just share my screen here and bring up and get it to find the right window. Okay, here we go. There we go. Hopefully you can see my screen here. So Asimov, what is Asimov? So we are a project that is specifically working around what is known as neurosymbolic AI and structured reasoning. So we've just launched a blog site, asimov.blog, and one of the first articles on here gives you a good background on what we are actually working on, the concept of trustworthy neurosymbolic AI. But the whole idea here is to produce something that allows AI access to information that does have some provenance attached to it and can be verified in various ways. You're going to have attestations on it that it is actually valid or has some provenance information to it. And all of that is then anchored to a blockchain, so anchored to Near in this case for reasoning, right? And then as part of that, we have the Asimov platform. If you go to asimov.sh, and so that gives you a whole sort of rundown of the ecosystem and again, what we're sort of building from a technical point of view, including the Asimov modules. So there's a whole directory at asimov.directory that has a whole bunch of modules for pulling in information from your bookmarks, from Amazon, Facebook, et cetera, Instagram. And so you can use all these modules, this entire modular system, to bring this information in and convert it into a knowledge graph. The whole idea of what we're working on with knowledge graphs is you can bring disparate data from different places and you can query over it in a coherent fashion with the knowledge graph. So I'm going to pass over to Arto now to talk about specifically what we've launched, because we've got a few modules that we've launched this week.
Thanks, Matt. Yes, so since the last time we were on the pod 2 weeks ago, we've published a number of new modules. We are now moving into the PIM territory, as in personal information management. And as you may or may not know, the cornerstones of that would be your contacts, your calendar, your email, your bookmarks, your notes. So those are all of the things that we are prioritizing, unlocking from your private confidential data, whatever AI systems you deem trustworthy, which of course typically would be something like a local or Llama, because you wouldn't necessarily want to sacrifice this to the cloud gods, right? So let me speak a little bit about that then. Let's see here, lots of tabs. So we have made available in early release form now a total of 15 modules. We have almost 100 in the works. A screen share coming up. Yeah, we have almost 100 in the works that we are finishing up as resources allow and then flipping to public. Within the existing modules, we have an interesting mix, meaning on the one hand, for example, we have the NEAR module here for fetching blockchain data. On the other hand, we have kind of aggregator and scraper modules, such as API, Bright Data, and SUB API, through which we are able to pull in data from hundreds of websites. And of course, the point of the platform is that we pull in this data and we turn it into a knowledge graph, which means that all of this data is possible to trivially merge. Once it's in knowledge graph form, you can just, a graph plus a graph is a graph. So that's sort of the magic of knowledge graphs. So we have these aggregator modules, which help for pulling in, for example, your Twitter followers, your LinkedIn connections, and the like, things that you can't really get through even any API that need, this kind of scraper APIs. And then we have a growing list of modules that unlock your personal confidential data, such as the IMAP module, which I'll demonstrate shortly. That is then a good way to access your personal email. But not only the IMAP module, we also have, as you can see, the Mbox and Maildir modules. These are for more advanced users. If you know what those things mean, you know that you want those modules. If you don't know what they mean, you really don't need those modules. We are sort of unlocking these personal information management aspects of your life, module by module, aspect by aspect. If you look at, we have also the vCard module. This is the current way to bring in your contacts, as in you can export vCard from anywhere, including your Apple contacts or including your Google directory. But soon enough, we'll also be rolling out the direct Google integration using the OAuth authentication. So it'll get even easier. But these are, in any case, a sufficient list that you can begin to do many, many interesting things, which we're going to demonstrate over the coming weeks. And one more mention here, the Chromium module. So the Chromium module is bookmarks out from Brave, Chrome, and Chromium, and Microsoft Edge as well. And of course, there's a long list of Chromium-based browsers. So this means that if you wanted to build, for example, a alternative to the for yourself for the Pocket service that Mozilla is sunsetting right now, to much dismay, well, this would probably be a good way to get those bookmarks and do something with them. So that's the kind of stuff we're doing, and you can follow us on GitHub at Asimov Modules, Asimov-modules. Please give us some love over there. We also have the Twitter, Asimov_modules, where we are automatically tweeting out the module releases. As you see, it's quite busy. And then, of course, the individual modules live in particular repositories over there. So let me do a very brief live demo of how you can utilize these tools. I think good thing to mention here is that because we are building in Rust, we have a unique approach where all of these modules are actually static binaries built for every platform and architecture. And that means, by the way, that they will work still 20 years from now. no matter what happens to the platform stack, no matter what happens to language runtimes, those kernel ABIs are stable, and these binaries will continue trucking. So this is a bit of alternate approach to the kind of dependency hell that characterizes a lot of AI frameworks today and language ecosystems. So all of these Asimov tools that you install as modules.
Arto, we don't see your screen. If you're sharing your terminal, we don't see your terminal at the moment.
All right, it's just a.
Oh,
it's
it is now.
Yeah, it's
there now. Okay.
Yeah. So once you have the Asimov tooling installed, what you do is you'd say module install IMAP, and of course I could give it a little verbosity, of course. Good, like a good Unix tool, we don't output anything when everything goes right, unless you want verbosity. And then once you install that, you get programs that implement particular patterns, such as fetcher, cataloger, and these, as I said, are static binaries, and they can be used standalone. So I'll just show if I write here IMAP cataloger, I give it an IMAP URL. The platform is fully based on URLs. Everything is a URL. So this just goes to my local IMAP server and pulls in, the emails that I copied off a mailing list dump for Airflow. And then, of course, to turn that into a knowledge graph or any other format, you can specify what you need, and you get the same thing like that. So that's super simple. You want a particular message? Well, you got the IMAP fetcher, which takes a longer URL, and you can get the original, or you can get, again, the knowledge graph version. And there's currently a bug in this pre-release that doesn't have the body included there, but will be later today. So these tools are absolutely standalone. These modules, they do not require the rest of the platform. They do not require the command line tooling. They can be utilized on any host, anywhere, standalone to unlock your data. So this is why we think that our tools, our modules, are going to be integrated across the industry into lots of frameworks, because they will be by far the easiest, reliable way to unlock a lot of these data sources. So that's.
So Arto, just to be clear, your target market here are the existing agent frameworks.
Well, look, I don't personally, necessarily care about the agentic framing here. We are really just enabling anybody who needs data to get it from various sources, and to, very importantly, do it in a way that it can all be unified and merged locally. You can pull in public data, and you can pull in your confidential data. You can unify them, and you can feed them to agentic systems if you like, or just your local LLM. And we'll be demonstrating a lot of interesting applications of that over the coming weeks.
Super cool stuff. You guys are always shipping. Love to have you on the show so consistently. We do have to move on to the next guest, but is there anything else besides following Asimov modules on GitHub that you want to flag?
No, just please give us some love. We have not too many followers as yet. So Asimov_modules, Asimov_platform on Twitter.
Great. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining. We are going to be moving on to our next guest. We have Naveen from IQ.AI. Naveen, how are you doing? Let's see, where did you go? Hey, Naveen, can you hear me?
Hey, how's it going?
Living the dream, hanging out. Got myself a room with consistent internet, which is great. Are you going to be demoing anything today? Hey, Naveen, can you hear me? Hey, Naveen, can you hear me? Test.
Now I can hear you. Thank you. Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, loud and clear. Can you just beautiful. There's your beautiful face. There we are. So, real quick, for everyone who doesn't know what IQ.AI is, can you just give a quick lowdown of what you're building, who you are, and what you shipped this week?
Absolutely. Let me present. Yeah, so I run IQAI. So we're the agent tokenization platform. So basically, we've built a platform where you can launch tokenized agents, and we've also built a framework as well to build those tokenized agents. So you can see the platform here. So there's a lot of different agents that have been launched. So one of them, for example, is Sophia, which is the AI editor of IQ.wiki, the largest blockchain encyclopedia. So you can see that here. So you can see all the edits it's making. So if you build an agent, the cool thing you can do as a developer is you can make sure to put your developer logs, so your AI's activity, so everyone can see what your AI agent is doing. And you can see the tokenized agent. You can see that there's trading available. You can see, of course, the price chart data, all of that. But what's really interesting is that we recently moved. So this is kind of what we shipped recently. Is we moved our framework onto the ADKA. So we moved it to work with Agent Development Kit, which is Google's Google ADK. So their platform for building multi-agent solutions and kind of building exciting agents. And then what we shipped this week specifically is a MCP for connecting agents to near intents. With near intents growing so fast, we figured this is a must-have for any tokenized agent builder. Basically, it allows the agent to, you can build something like where you just do prompt to transact. So you just prompt, you put in the prompt, and then the agent operates for you. I can actually show you guys the video. So I'll start that. So yeah, you can see we're starting out with the Near wallet, but you'll see the next phases. Yeah, so you can see they're swapping one Near to USDT using Near intents. Right now it's processing. And then boom, yeah, there's the quote, and then you can put in the address. So right now it wants you to proceed with the swap, but for future, you can just do it automatically. But that's kind of how we built it so far.
Hey, just real quick for everyone in the audience and myself, where are these price feeds coming from? Is this all from Near Intents directly, or yeah, like how do you know the price of Near?
I believe it's all pulling from Near intents directly.
Got it. Cool. Through the one-click API.
Exactly.
Nice. Yeah, this is super cool. What next? Like, where does this go from here?
There's a lot of really cool stuff we're working on. So another thing, this was just executed. So we built also we also built a MCP specifically for connecting the agents to the Near blockchain in general. So that way, so the first step is Near intents is the swapping between chains, swapping between tokens. But also now, this new MCP is going to allow you to use the full Near suite, so the full Near protocol, all blockchain operations, account management, smart contracts, everything. So that's going to be exciting. We'll probably have a demo for that probably next month. So that's going to be really cool. Some other really cool stuff that we're working on is that we also just recently, we moved all of our backend agent software. So for our internal agents, like you saw, Sophia, we moved that all to Gemini, and so we're working with Google Cloud on some cool stuff. So that's why also the TypeScript, so the ADK platform, the framework is specifically designed to work very easily with all of the Gemini suite and all of that. So that's pretty exciting. Some other big stuff is you're going to see some MCPs combining robotics and AI. So I don't want to give too much away because we'll probably demo it actually next month on the town hall, and probably also as well on Near Week as well on this stream as well. We're going to have something very cool connecting robotics Near, and you can see how this can kind of form the foundation for that, right? Because you're going to need the swapping those elements to Near blockchain, and then some really cool stuff coming as well.
That's super cool stuff, man. We do have to move on to the next guest. Is there anything else you want to add before we do so?
Yeah, definitely just check us out. So we're at iqai.com. Check out adk.iqai.com to see the framework and everything. And yeah, happy to connect. And thanks for having us on.
Thanks for joining. See you next time. All right. Next, we have another familiar face, but this time with some pretty cool announcement. We have Jordan from Public AI. Jordan, how's it going?
Great to be here. I'll share my screen so we can show off some of the cool stuff we've been shipping.
Beautiful.
And-
But real quick, for those who don't know you, who are you? What is Public AI? And what do you ship?
Excellent. Yeah, thanks for the space. Real brief, we'll do a context on what Public AI is, and then we'll go into the features that ship this week. At the core, what we're building at Public AI is the human layer of AI. And what that means is, as this AI revolution is sweeping across industries and being integrated across the board, we're identifying where there's human value in these systems and using Web3 primitives, capturing that value and enabling everybody on Earth around the world to participate. And that means that it's not only developers who can be part of this AI revolution, but also everyday contributors can bring their expertise and experiences in a valuable way. And where we're starting is with data. Data is one of the components of AI that we see as being in high demand and will continue to be in high demand. The other bottlenecks in the AI industry include things like compute and memory resources, which are becoming more and more commoditized. And as the breakthroughs happen with different research, the value of those commodities is becoming less and less as it becomes more efficient to be able to train and run inference on models. But no matter what you're doing, whether it is training or inference, data is always valuable as far as like fine-tuning models for applied ML purposes, that last mile data to get your performance up to snuff as far as like reliability and cost effectiveness of running models in production. And then even for inference, like some of the previous presenters mentioned, it's super valuable to have relevant data when you're using these systems. So this is an overview of how we're building the human layer of AI. At the very top, we have our clients that are coming to us for this niche on-demand data. And then below that, what we have is the Public AI platform. And what that comprises of is the Data Hub, which is a DApp where users can go and upload data, vote on each other's data, and then also provide feedback once the data has been applied to models. So we've got human in the loop across the entire pipeline for AI models, training and then testing them. And then we also have Data Hunter, which is a Chrome extension, which can be used for further data fetching and also offloading the mechanical component of data verification. So our custom AI models that are used to verify the authenticity of uploads, making sure that it's not AI generated, et cetera, can be part of the network that's making all of that happen. So that's how people can get involved. That's where the community of 1.5 million plus data builders is hanging out, doing real work every day. And then below that, we have the blockchain component. So those Web3 primitives I mentioned underlie all of this technology, where we have a reputation system in place to identify high quality contributors over time, consensus voting, which is a lot like DAO voting for that data verification, state collateral to ensure that participants are making meaningful contributions, and skill tree KYC to identify expertise in the community through quizzes and things like that. So that's a quick background on like how we're bringing this to life, how things are going. It's great. We're seeing a lot of demand from clients and have already delivered data to enterprises and also small and medium businesses, startups, et cetera. And then the community continues to grow at an astronomical pace. We've got contributors from every country, every continent, and a large majority of those are Web3, but it's great to see that there's interest in this from the Web2 community as well, onboarding even more people to this AI3 revolution. And a little bit about the team. Couldn't be joined by everybody today, but wanted to give shout outs to Dr. Stephen Wang and Professor Sui, who really are the origin story of what Public AI is and where it came from. They were running an AI research lab, so they had firsthand experience with the pain of getting data for these purposes, and decided to try a decentralized approach. After having some success, moved to the Bay Area, and Kenji and I joined to help drive the business and growth side of things. So myself, as Cameron said, familiar face, been around the Near ecosystem for quite a while, having built early DAO and NFT infrastructure. And then Kenji joined as the operational co-founder. He is well suited to that domain. He was the CSO at Caro, which is the largest used car marketplace in Southeast Asia, and has been helping out a ton on the operational side of things, tokenomics, etc. So that's all been kind of abstract, but I want to underline the fact that this is all very real. We have a platform that's running today, and you can go participate at beta.publicai.io. One of the biggest campaigns we're running is the native language audio collection. So you can go to the site, upload audio in your native language, and get paid about $1 a day for that if you do 140 uploads, which takes less than 30 minutes. We're in between seasons right now, but you can still get on there and set your mother tongue and do the quiz to qualify for this when it goes live next week. And we had over 5,000 participants in the first season that all got paid out for their real work. And because this is a live system, we're always iterating on things to make it easier for our contributors. So one of the things that we noticed with the last run, the last season of this Mother Tongue campaign, was that people would come and do a few, but then weren't committed to getting their full daily uploads done. So we came up with a gamified interface that shows you some targets to hit for your daily recording. And along the way, you can see how much you're going to earn when you hit the next target. In this case, we're about to hit 20 uploads where we earn 25 cents. And if you complete the whole day's worth of uploads, then you get your dollar. We've also got a campaign live right now to go and check out where you can flex your status on X. After you do a quiz to learn about public AI and all of the mechanics, then you can tweet how excited you are about this and earn up to 100,000 points a day for yapping about public AI. So this is our kind of version of Kaido or something like that. And you only get one submission a day, so don't upload junk. Make sure that you make it count. Another big thing is this voting system that we have. So whenever there's votes, there will always be disputes, and we just got a dispute system online so that as disputes occur, they can be bubbled up through our credentialed contributors. So folks that have contributed for a long time across multiple campaigns get guard status, and then a level above that is our judges. So when you hit dispute over any of the claims you've participated in voting for, say you're very confident in your judgment that like a hero upload campaign was just algorithmically generated content or off topic, not about public AI, something like that. But it turns out that the community vote was in the other direction. Then you can open a dispute and have that bubbled up. And after a judge looks at it, all of the stake points and reputation involved in that vote will be flipped, and rewards will be distributed as determined by the judge. Another thing to call out is we did have some participants in the last season of audio that were uploading TTS, text-to-speech, and AI-generated audio. That's not why clients come to us. We've got very clear guidelines on what's acceptable and what's not as far as the uploads go. So we do ban bad actors in the system. Don't come and think this is an easy farm. You're going to get banned. And on the other side of that, we also have lots of ways to level up for the people who are committed to doing real work and building the future of AI with the humans in the loop. If you have contributed to multiple campaigns and you're committed to the mission of public AI, then you can apply for guard status on Discord. And that comes with elevated privileges, not only in the community, but also on the Data Hub platform, where you'll get paid more for your votes and be able to address disputes and things like that. Another earning opportunity is to use the referral system. So we've got this idea of like 7 degrees to any expert. So we encourage everybody to rope in all their friends, let them know about this opportunity and that they too can be part of the AI revolution. Very commonly requested feature across the board. In crypto, it's a reality that sometimes people lose access to their wallets. So we shipped the ability to disconnect wallets. You do have to bind your email first so that we have a tag on you. and your contributions. But after you do that, you're able to disconnect wallets, reconnect wallets, so that if you need to shuffle things around, that's no problem. This one was a commonly requested feature from the community, so a lot of people are happy about it. And then last but not least, this week we went live with the checker for DataBaby eligibility. And this is an NFT collection that we're launching in partnership with Hot Protocol. So as part of their Hotcraft NFT marketplace and Launchpad, which is chain abstracted, powered by Near Intents, we're the first collection to launch on there. And the really exciting thing about that is that when you show up to Hotcraft, you don't need to necessarily use a Near wallet. You can log in with EVM or Solana, grab your DataBaby, trade it, buy for Sol, buy for ETH, sell for Sol, sell for ETH, and it all works seamlessly. So really fun use case, and really excited for the mint of this on July 15th. And that's all I got. Call to action: pop on to beta.publicai.io, get started, make sure you get through the quizzes and everything else you need to contribute. And yeah, excited to see you in the community.
Jordan, as always, you have so much to offer, and for everyone around the world that speaks a language, which is everybody who speaks, can make money. So real sort of intersection of crypto AI, paying people using crypto to actually incentivize the things that AI needs, i.e. more quality data. So this is incredible. One thing that I was a little uncertain about: when does season 3 for the language competition start? Like, when does it formally start?
Yep, we have it on the books for early next week. Since we have we're probably starting Monday next week is
Okay.
what we're looking at. Yeah.
Good to know. We'll pull the strings to get the marketing funnels aware. So thank you so much. This has been so good. We have one last speaker. Jordan, thanks for coming. Hope to see you soon. Thank you. Ventali, are you on?
Yeah. Hello.
Hey, welcome. First time.
Yeah.
Love the San Francisco background, which is not a fake background, which is nice.
Sorry, I'm trying to open the share screen.
Okay, just go to present and then make sure just to share the window, unless you want to share the whole thing. Oh, see ya. While we wait, Ventali and I have been discussing, working more closely together in your ecosystem. I think she's building is super, super cool. Excited for her to come on and share more about it. But I guess I can kind of talk about what I've been shipping this week. Well, I actually took off yesterday, one of my first days off in a very, very long time, which was nice. But besides that, been working with all these projects here, lining up a lot of the projects that, really what I do is I manage all the integrations, sometimes investments, sometimes just general partnerships with all these teams. Right now, I'm specifically focused on the different parts of the DCML stack. This is the decentralized confidential machine learning. This includes everything from aggregating compute. We're primarily interested in H200s because they have potential TEE support. Doing a lot of work with model training and fine-tuning, work with teams focused on evals and benchmarks, and then portable memory is one of them, and lastly, like all the TE hosting with Follow Network and others. But Ventali is back, so hey, welcome back to the stage.
Sorry about that.
Oh, good. I can stall as long as you need.
Can you see me?
Are you ready to rock? Yes.
Okay, so we're working on this. It's a very simple product. It's just a monetization platform for AI devs. So I have a lot of friends. I'm based in San Francisco. They're AI founders, and it's very hard for them to convert their users to paid users, and because there are so many different apps, etc. So we are thinking about how to essentially help them monetize. And so right now, this is only a beta version. We just launched actually 2 days ago. So we're testing with a bunch of developer friends. So right now what this developer platform can do is can do LLM model routing. So similar to OpenRouter, that's one thing. The second is we're working on billing. So people probably heard of like Cursor, that sort of annoying all of this user community because they shifted to usage-based payments immediately. And we're trying to make billing much more flexible. So developers can sort of say like, oh, I want to charge, for example, per GPU usage or number of API calls or a combination of both. It's so we're making a very flexible billing product as well. And the third thing we're doing is actually the core, probably one of the core product is the ads function. So if you're building a chatbot, if you're building an AI companion, if you're using LLMs, like we are helping you inject ads into your product. So if you, let's say if you're a ChatGPT, like similar chatbots, we help inject product recommendations into the text responses that you give to your users, and help to make revenue for you from day one. So that's what we're doing right now. I can show you guys. So if you log in, we're using Privy, and Privy I think supports Near right now. You can add, let's say like an AI app, and test key, and then you can create a API keys that can access. Right now we support over 80 models, and then you'll be able to manage your keys here. You can create multiple keys for developer staging or production. And then right now for billing, we support Stripe, but we're connecting with Near's like stablecoin. So in future, the promise is that we're going to use stablecoins because Stripe right now takes like 2.9% plus like 0.3 per transaction. So it doesn't make sense for like small transactions, which I think most developers are doing right now. Is if you pay like $10, Stripe would charge you like 0.5 or something dollars, which is pretty high. So we're going to connect with stablecoin in a week or two, and we're testing the product. So we'd love to get your eyes on the product and tell us if anything feels weird. We'd love to get your feedback. And right now we're giving 10% discount, or we're adding, so you can get 10% more credits if you use the routing. So if you pay like $10, you get $11 credit. And early users will love to get your feedback. So yeah, that's what Sudo is about.
Super awesome stuff. When you say AI developers, you're talking everyone. People training new models, people creating new agents, literally everyone out there.
Yeah, as long as you're using like LLM. And if you're using, I guess, different models, then you can use the routing service that we have. And all the features are like independent of each other. So if you can use ads without using billing or authentication or our routing service, or you can use routing. So, there's no like locked in to anything.
Super cool. And for those who might not know you, who are you? And what kind of led you to building this?
Yeah, so I've previously built 2 startups, and one is actually a consumer AI startup, and where we do fiction generation for users. So you can go there and generate your fiction. In future, I wanted to generate videos and entertainment content like TV shows that's very personalized and customized. So that's my first startup. And then the second one is a ZKVM company. It's one of the major competitive ZKVMs out there. And so I've been in this space for a couple of years, and this AI product is, we really think that payment is the one of the only product market fit of this space. And right now, there is this increased demand of like LM usage, and we just think that this is a very good entry point. And there's a lot of pain points of developers getting a lot of inference costs and etc. So we just run into these problems, like friends run into these problems all the time, and we think it's a good opportunity. There's a huge space, so that's why we're doing this.
Awesome. Might be my internet, but it sounded a little robotic at the end. Probably my fault. But super cool. Where can people learn more about Sudo? I know you're wanting more AI developers and users. What is the website that they should go to?
So the website is sudoapp.dev. And in future, actually, we're also working on a consumer-facing app store. So if your app uses our dev platform, connect with our user auth, then your app will be shown on our app store where users can use their Sudo account to access and discover your app. And so we're also working on that. But this developer-facing website is called sudoapp.dev. And in future, the consumer one will be sudoapp.ai. But this is the website.
Beautiful. Well, cool. Super stoked to hear more about the progress as the months progress. And thank you for joining.
Thank you so much.
Yep, that's it. So that is all we have today. Thank you all for bearing with the Wi-Fi connectivity issues. And so, I guess very, very briefly, I'll finish what I was talking about what am I shipping this week. Again, there's DCML, Decentralized Confidential Machine Learning. There's a blog post that highlights pretty much all of this. I can drop it to Neurweek and they can post it later. And then and this is all about how do you actually train models in trusted execution environments. So you can do things like content authentication, essentially verifying that the model that you're using is, or the data that is used to train a model is, accurate and correct. And then eventually help monetize some of these models, to sort of bridge the gap. Because right now there's a pretty significant issue around monetization in AI. People spend tens of millions of dollars training one of these LLMs only for the next week for it to be outcompeted. With a lot of that work essentially is made irrelevant. And so we do need to solve this monetization issue, which is why I love what Sudo is doing. So that's DCML, Decentralized Confidential Machine Learning. And then there is AITP, AI Transfer Protocol. You go to aitp.dev to learn that it's the entire spec of how agents can communicate with other agents, pay other agents, audit other agents. And so in the world where agents are going to connect with other agents, you can ensure that, or have a little bit more accurate, faith that they're doing a good job and they're not going to leak your private keys. And so next week, I'm very excited for some of the teams that are working on very important parts of this to present their progress. And then there's actually two more buckets that I don't really talk about a ton because one of the buckets I don't really own or I don't really do as much work with, and that is the Shade agents. This is primarily led by the Proximity Labs team. And this is where you can have an agent that gets verified on chain. It's all running in TE to ensure that the code, you can have some sort of attestation saying, hey, this agent is doing the things it's supposed to do and is running the code it's supposed to run, which is very, very valuable. And it can also sign transactions across any blockchain. We've had Owen from Proximity Labs come on a few times to talk about the progress, and hopefully he'll come on, I think, next week. So that's another third bucket. And then the very last bucket is I do a lot of work with the House of Stake. The House of Stake is the Near Ecosystem's primary DAO that is going to manage a very large token treasury to accelerate the Near ecosystem. I'm one of the delegates or endorsed delegates by the Near Foundation, and we are going to govern a about $10 million treasury. Now, the work I'm doing specifically on that front is related to AI governance. That is actually using AI to help accelerate human decision-making within the DAO. For anyone who has participated in any type of board meeting, any type of, a political campaign, people don't love participating in governance. So how can we use AI to help people make better decisions? and eventually giving an agent or a network of agents a seat on the DAO. And so they're actually going to be able to vote on behalf of their constituents or their people who delegate to them to push their sort of interest forward. And so this is a part of a much bigger vision of how do we create an AI CEO. So we do think that the House of Stake is a perfect place to experiment with AI governance or agentic governance, the way I like to say it. We are not governing how to use AI or what, not governing the model itself. We're actually using the model to support with governance. And so hopefully there's gonna be a lot more to come on this front that I can be public about. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been focused on. There's a lot of projects in every one of those. And so I'll continue to bring them onto the show as we continue. That's about it. We hit the hour mark. Thank you all for joining and see you next week. And shout out to Neurweek for coming in and ensuring a smooth transition while my internet sucked. So thank you all for joining and hope to see you soon.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Neurweek.